Alright, you just saw the video and you want to make it for yourself. What you just witnessed was a rigid body simulation in the program Blender. Let's make it. So, I opened a Blender. I just created it gives you a menu here. I just click General, and here we are in Blender. So, we have our default cube here, and as you can see, I have my keys displayed here so you can see what I'm doing. So, we have our default cube here. What we're going to do is we're going to scale it. Press S, and we're going to go for the, S. And we're going to go for the X-axis. And then we're going to go S and Y. So there we go. We got a nice area here. Great. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to go right here to this little circular icon. We're going to click it, and then we're going to click Rigid Body. We're going to click Passive. Active and passive basically mean what it is. So, that was an awful explanation. Active is what's actually falling. Passive, it's basically, like, what the ground is. So, we're going to set this to passive. Great. Now I'm going to turn on rendered view here, the top right, so I can just see this a little bit better for myself. And if you want to, you don't have to, you can go to this little circular icon, and wherever it says base color, just give yourself a nice color. You don't have to, but it makes it a lot better. And I recommend turning up the roughness a little bit. Personally, 0.6 is fine. Great. Now, we're going to press Shift A, so we get that little add menu. Or, you can press add right here, and then, yeah. So, Shift A, we're going to mesh. There's many types of add-on, well, things you can spawn in, but mesh is what you're going to use the most. So when you go to mesh, choose anything you want. Absolutely anything you want. For today, we're going to go for a nice cube. Press the G key, and then let's go for the Z axis so we can bring it up. Great. Now, go to the little physics tab again, and we're going to click rigid body, you guessed it, leaving it on active. Now, it actually works. Let me just pull up this right here. This is the timeline. It actually functions as an object. So, now let's have a little bit of fun. Press G, the Z axis. Let's bring it up a little bit. Now, if you press R on it, and you can uniformly move it on any axis by pressing the X, Y, or Z key, or you can just press the R key and move it in all directions. This is great for randomness. Now, press the space bar. Cool, a nice little simulation. Great. Now, let's have some fun. So if you press the 1 key, you can get the front view. If you press the 3 key, you get the side view. If you press the 5 key, you can get a really odd angle. If you press the 7 key, top-down angle. We're going to press the 1 key. Now, we're going to press Shift D to copy this. Copy it as many times as you like. Now, this is not the simulation in the video, but it is a simulation that is basic. Now, we're going to click on each one of them. You guessed it. R, and we're going to freely rotate them. So that way we get different physics interactions. Let's watch it. Great. Wasn't that fun? Perfect. Now we can delete all these cubes. Because now we're going to get down to business. Oh, oops, silly me. Great, now we're getting down to business. So you wanted to see, well, you wanted to make the video I showed you. Let's go. So, what we're going to do is, we're going to press Shift A, we're going to get a cube, press G, the Z axis, press S, the X axis, press G, the Z axis, no, S, Z axis, so we get these little cubes, well, rectangles, just like in the video I showed you. Now, the reason why I made this type of block in the video is because I was inspired by Jenga, and I like Jenga. So, yeah. Now, of course, we're gonna add our physics simulation, rigid body, active, and now we're just gonna place it on the ground. Great. Same mode here. Press 1 key, Shift D, Shift D, and we're gonna make a little Jenga tower. I mean, Jenga has 3 layers, but it also is crossed, and we're not getting that detail. This is a beginner tutorial. Shift D, 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 Shift D. Press the middle mouse button if you have a mouse. Shift middle mouse to scroll up. Shift D, Shift D, Shift D, Shift D. Now let's see how that looks. We get a nice Jenga tower, exactly like the video, and stacks here, perfect. Now, what we're gonna do is this light right here. We're gonna move it by pressing the G key, the Y-axis, and we're gonna move it right there. Now, Shift middle mouse. We're gonna click on our camera. You can click on it here. It's a little bit tricky, or you can click on it here. We're gonna press Control Alt 0. Then we're gonna go right here to View, Navigation, Walk Navigation. You can use your mouse, and you can use WASD to move around and get the perfect camera angle. Right here is fine. Now, what we're gonna do is, so all of these have physics. What we're gonna do is we're gonna Shift, select them, and oh, we gotta do it manually. Sorry about that. We're gonna go to one of them. We're gonna go to Materials right here, and let's add a nice Jenga block texture. I'm not gonna go into the shading nodes yet because that's really advanced. And now we're gonna click on each one of them, and then we're just gonna go right here and Material 0.1. So that way they all look like Jenga boxes, Jenga blocks. They kind of look like UPS packages. Nice Jenga blocks. Socks. Blocks. I know there's a faster way to do this. I don't know that faster way. This is a beginner's tutorial. Great. Now that they are all UPS boxes, what we're going to do is we're going to press Shift A again. Now we're going to add Mesh UV Sphere. Now we're going to press G key, Z key, so we can bring it up. And now we have the thing that is going to crush the Jenga blocks, just like in the simulation. Great. Now we want to center it on the Jenga tower. Also, you see how it's really jagged edged? We can fix that. Right click it, click Shade Smooth, go to this little wrench icon, add modifier, subdivision surface. Right where it says local viewport, crank that up to 2. Great. Now it's a soft sphere. Now we're gonna add a nice texture in the texture thing, the little circle, a nice red texture. And then where it says metallic, we're gonna drag that up till we get 1. How's that? Now, of course, we gotta center it. G, X. So it's pretty much centered. Now G, Z, drag it up. Go to the physics icon, rigid body, active, and let's enjoy. You see how it didn't crush the tower? That's because the mass right here. We want to crank this mass up. So I'm in America land. So what I want to do is I want to make a nice I believe you can change the units, I think. So this is kilograms, so I want this many kgs. 100 pounds is nice, so 45 kgs. I'll go for 46. 46 kgs. Now let's see that. Boom! Great. Now let's render it. So, right here, which says end, right in the end box, we're gonna press 161. I don't know why these are flashing, but 161. Great. It may be different for you guys, because physics simulations are never the same. They can never go in the same way. That's the good thing about Blender. Blender's an amazing software. It generates everything, so it may be different for you guys. I don't know. But, yeah. Great. Now, if it on one second, why does it keep flashing like that? Oh, if you see it, ignore it. We're going to be using Eevee. Now, enable bloom, animated occlusion, screen spatial reflections, refractions. Now we're going to go right here, and this is your rendering stuff. So, for frame rate, 30 is best for this type of simulation, as you saw right there. So 30, 161. Now for output right here, this is where all your frames are going to be. So if I were you, I'd create a frames folder on your desktop, and once you got that, create accept. If you don't want to exit the Blender program, you can right click new folder and just type in frames, and then you'll have a new folder named frames. You can click on it, accept. PNG is a great type, I recommend it. And there's one more setting. Rigid body world. So what you want to do is you want to see this cone, this circle, and the dot right here, and you want to go to rigid body world, and you want to go to cache or cache, depending on where you are. Right where it says end, type in 161, and click bake all dynamics. And now it may have taken a long time, may have not taken a long time. Depends on your computer. So now the simulation should run more smoothly. And besides, you have to bake it, otherwise it won't come out. So do that, and let's see how it's looking. Pretty good. Now let's go to our camera view by pressing the 0 key, and we can see that's how our simulation is going to look. Great. Now, let me just double check. You've got everything right, so great. Now we're going to go to this little file icon, save, and you can rename whatever you want it to be. So I'm going to type in Jenga Tower Sim, and it saves it to your documents folder, so just click save Blender file, and now you're ready to render. Make sure to click save again just for good measure. So click render animation, and I'm gonna cut, or maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna cut once it's done. It's done, it's on 161, and it should just stop rendering. So that took fast. It may have not taken fast. It may have taken fast. So what you want to do is you want to press exit out of this. You can save it, and file, new, video editing. I'm just gonna show you right here. There should be a folder on your computer where all the frames got exported, which you can see mine are right here. So now, once you're in here, what you want to do is you want to go right here to frame rate and select 30, which we selected 30 in the Blender render. So then for end, 161, same as how it ended in our file. So for output, if you want to do in the same folder, you can. Personally, I have a dedicated folder to Blender animation, so put it wherever you want it. Now, great. We're gonna go here, so it says add image sequence, and now you're gonna select the folder where all your frames are. Make sure that these are in order. You can click name to do this. Now, click the top one, scroll down, or you can use this little slider. Shift click the last one. Click add image strip. And there you go. It's now in the video editing. To increase the quality, we can go to encoding right here. Output quality should be perpetuously lossless. Now, click render again, render animation, and that should take a little bit. Okay, great. Once it's done, we can exit out of both of them. You don't need to save it. And then there you go. There you have it. It should be right here. It should be 00161. You can rename it whatever you want to. So I'm going to rename it Jenga Tower. And then there you go. Click on it. You just made a Jenga Tower simulation. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more Blender tutorials, I can gladly do that for you. As I'm getting quite good at Blender myself, so I can do a lot of stuff if you want. So yeah, have a good day, guys. Thanks for watching.